The bitter root of the Mordecai house. The man in the portrait was Moses Mordecai, a man of property and standing in the county. His house on the hill was filled with fine furniture and quiet servants, but it held more secrets than books. The portrait's eyes, rendered in oil and varnish, seemed to follow all who passed, a constant, silent accounting of the lives lived under his roof. In the sunless corners of the house moved a woman named Elara. She was swift and silent, her hands always occupied with mending, polishing, or serving. Her life was not her own. It was a story owned and authored by the master of the house, a thread pulled taut by his desires. Moses saw in Elara a vessel for his will, a reflection of his own dominion. When he summoned her, the great house seemed to hold its breath, the floorboards silent under her reluctant steps. A son was born from this union in the suffocating heat of summer, a boy with his mother's sorrowful eyes and the undeniable shadow of his father's features. Years turned, and another woman, Sable, served in the kitchens. Her laughter had once been a bright sound against the clatter of pots and pans, but it faded over time, shrinking into a quiet watchfulness. She too was drawn into the master's orbit, and she too bore a child, a daughter whose life was bound to the same house, the same man. The two children grew up in the shade of the grand estate, half-siblings who could never speak the name of their shared father. They were his property, their bloodline. A dangerous truth whispered only in the dark of the slave quarters, a secret that could cost them everything. Moses Mordecai aged. His hair thinned and his steps became measured, but his authority remained absolute. He looked upon the children in his yard, his children, and saw not sons or daughters, but assets, extensions of his own will, their futures already written in his ledger. Sable's daughter, Zora, grew into a woman, her face a cruel echo of the man who owned her. The resemblance was a curse, a constant reminder of her origin. And the cycle, relentless and vile, began again. Moses took his own daughter, and in time she bore his grandchild. The house became a suffocating knot of kinship and cruelty. Father, grandfather, master, Moses was all of these things, often to the same person. The family tree was a bitter root, twisting deep beneath the soil, its poisoned branches hidden from the world. The whispers of violated generations filled the walls. The haunted eyes of Elara, the stolen laughter of Sable, the silent anguish of Zora. Their blood ran together in the veins of children who would carry the Mordecai legacy in secret, a brand on their souls. When Moses Mordecai was finally laid in the ground, his portrait remained. Its painted eyes stared out over the hall, seeming to hold the gaze of his children, his grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren, the silent living proof of a legacy built on chains, secrets, and sorrow.